Hey, what's up everyone, Vortex here and welcome back to Vortex Ray Shadow Legends. Guys, in today's video we're gonna talk about Hydra. We're gonna talk about the Hydra skills, weaknesses, what Hydra does as a boss. We're gonna take every head in part and talk about those heads. Let me just make this one full screen, nice. Yeah, and we're gonna talk about like team composition, like what kind of champions you should have in your team in order to deal with the Hydra. There's not gonna be any fights, simply because I want to make this video as easy as possible for new players, because this is mostly for like new players or people who came back to the game after a long break, and you want to find out how exactly does Hydra work and how you should build your team for her. And I don't want to put too much information out there for you guys, because otherwise it's gonna become, I don't know, hard, so people they might lose interest in this topic, right? So yeah, we're gonna talk about the Hydra. I'm gonna give like a brief explanation what they do, and we're gonna talk about the team composition again, a really quick explanation, maybe show you guys what kind of champions you should use. And then on Saturday I'm gonna have a live stream. It will start at 12 o'clock, I think. Yeah, 12 o'clock UK time, London time, Europe time, I don't know. I don't know what is the CST, CES, I don't know. You can figure out that one on your own. And Saturday we're gonna put together a team. We're gonna fight the Hydra, and I'm gonna give a more in-depth explanation of what they do, because I can explain about the Hydra, but during the fight it's completely different. There are some strategies or stuff that you should do, or at least have your champions do for your team, right? And I think if I'm not mistaken, I have one of my clanmates. He's came back to the game after a long break, so I might have to take over his account and help him build the Hydra team. And this way, you can see like let's say beginning to end type of thing, right? With the teams and everything. So I'm gonna help him, and then if he still wants to do it, and then I'm gonna build my own team for my account, and I'm gonna do this as well for my account. So yeah, this is what we're gonna do today, guys. Before we go there, let's take a look at what happens a little bit here in Raid. We have a guaranteed Void Epic. She's Naya the Dryad, White Dryad Naya. Okay, I messed up her name. Pretty good champion. I already have her. If you need a champion that can reset cooldowns of skills, she's a decent one. She's not a Prince Kaimar or a Yumeko, but she can actually do some stuff for you with her A2 here. She removes all the debuffs from a target ally, heals them, and then resets the cooldown of the target by 2 turns. The problem with this skill here, unlike for example Prince Kaimar or Yumeko, where they reset the cooldown of all the champions in your team, Naya, she only resets the cooldown of one champion, and usually she targets the champion with the less HP, I think. Yeah, usually she goes for the champion that has like debuffs and less HP. Maybe I can't say for sure if that's how it works, or if it's not that one, she's gonna go for the leader. So you kind of have to use this one on manual if you want to target a specific champion like a Tranda or I don't know, a Newt or someone else, but anyway, she's a pretty decent champion, so you can, if you have 30 voids around and you need her, you can have her for free, technically for free. Also we have some new events. Midsummer Festival. We have the Path of Light here. I already checked this one. Honestly, I don't know. If you went for the fusion, then you might want to go for this one just to get the souls. To me, I don't see pretty much anything here that actually makes me say, okay, I want this. I want to do this path, right? Obviously, if you upgrade some champions, you're gonna get some stuff here. Anyway, if you summon your voice shards for Naya, you might get some stuff here as well. But I really don't. The only thing here that I care about would be the Immortal Soulstone and the Mythical Book, or even this one, to be honest. Other than that, I really don't care. But again, I'm gonna just play the game and see where I can get here, but I'm not gonna try to push. I don't want to open my shards. I'm saving my shards for Newt if he ever comes back to the mix. However, I'm gonna push for the Dungeon Divers event, mostly because there's this 30 primal quartzes here, and I do want this one. So I might have to push a little bit here to get this 30, because if I get those, I can get another primal here. I have 85. With 30, I will get another primal. And this way we have a good stack of, it's not much, only 6 of them. But it's good if, for example, there's another double event, you know, double chance event. For mythicals, I can have some shards here ready to be opened. And also because I'm gonna push anyway for the dungeon, because I do have to do some missions for Marius. I still have 7 battles to do in Fire Knight stage 5 in hard mode. Then I have to do this one where I have to obtain 5 mythical artifacts. I'm gonna do this in Spider, because in my experience it's a lot easier to get mythical artifacts from the spiders then, rather than any other dungeon, you know. So between these two I might get a bunch of artifacts, and I can actually do at least, like I said, I'm not sure if I'm gonna go all the way to 5,000 to get the chaos ore, but at least the quartzes, I really want those, okay? And then we'll see, it depends how it goes. There will be also, I think there is I don't know if it started already, but it should start a 3 times chance to get the speed gear from the dragons, you know. So if you want that one, I think tomorrow or after tomorrow we will have 3 times chance for Savage from the Fire Knight as well, so that's another great one. So yeah, anyway, so let's talk about Hydra, guys, okay? Let me have a little bit of coffee, because eventually that's why we're here. We need to talk about Hydra. Alright, so let's go here. Where is it? Alright, boss guys. Guys, I always say this, even for the Doom Tower. I had a video where I explained how to beat the bosses in Doom Tower. And I said in that video, and I'm gonna say it here as well. If you need help with a boss, just go here and you can check some of these details about the bosses, what they do, and what you should do in order to win the fight. So, okay, Plarium, they did quite a good job to explain everything. So it's not that hard. I think I only found one mistake while I was preparing for this video. I've noticed one mistake here. It's not really a mistake. It's more like wrong information that they give you that shouldn't be taken in consideration. But we're gonna talk about that one when we get there. Anyway, so let's start with Head of Decay. Now, there's a lot of things here that they explain about the Head of Decay, about the skills and everything. But the main important thing that you guys need to understand about the Head of Decay is that this head, it will cleanse all the other heads, which means it can't be allowed to cleanse, okay? Because if you start the fight and you put some debuffs on the heads, right? And the Head of Decay turns comes, and he's gonna cleanse all the other heads. You're gonna lose all those debuffs, and then it might take you a while before you get back to your skills to place those debuffs again, right? So you absolutely need to have someone with provoke in your team, right? This way you provoke the Head of Decay, and the Head of Decay, instead of cleansing all the other heads, he's gonna just simply attack the provoker. And this way you can save your team from you can help your team, so you're not gonna lose all the debuffs on the heads. That's what I wanted to say. Man, it's too early in the morning. I'm having issues to talk. All right, so again, there's a lot of other information. They put like life barriers and all that stuff, but honestly nobody actually cares about this stuff, okay? You can read through all this shit, you know, what they do, HP burns and poison, all that stuff. It doesn't really matter. When you're in the fight, you're not gonna think about all this other stuff, believe me, okay? The only thing, there's just a couple of heads that you need to think about what they do, and when they do it, and how you deal with it, okay? And in this case, like I said, Head of Decay, make sure you have a provoker, you provoke the Head of Decay, and you're good to go. Now let's go to the next one. This is Head of Blight. Head of Blight, it's one of those heads that to me, I don't know, I really don't care about this head. It's placing poisons, you know, and stuff like that. Whenever I see Head of Blight, I don't really care. You know, if you have a cleanser in your team to clean all those poisons, it's easy to deal with. Head of Mischief. Now this one, it's a pretty bad head to have. Combined, if you combine Head of Mischief with Head of Decay, these two together, they're really annoying. And I'm pretty, yeah, they are both in the same thing in this rotation. Every rotation will change, so I probably should have started with this one, right? So basically there's only 4 heads at a time out, and if you kill one head, another one will take his place, or it can be the same head again, right? So, but every rotation, in this rotation we have these 4 heads, and these 2 might come when one of these one dies. Oh, come on, please don't do this. Okay. I have 30 minutes to finish this video. Anyway, so let's hurry up a little bit here. So, yeah, that's the head. Now, let's go back to this one. So every rotation will have different heads in the beginning, and then they will swap between each other. Head of Mischief. Head of Mischief will steal buffs from one of your champion. So basically, he will always target the champion with the most buffs on itself, right? And steal all those buffs, and then he's gonna spread those buffs to all the other heads. So if you have buffs like block damage or unkillable, it's a big no-no in Hydra. You should never have any of these buffs on you, because if it steals your buffs of the block damage and he's gonna spread to all the other heads, you're not gonna be able to do any damage to those heads, right? Which is why I always recommend people don't bring anyone with unkillable or block damage in your team. The way to deal with this head, it's having someone to place block buffs on the heads. This way, even if the Head of Mischief will steal the buffs from your champion, he's not gonna be able to spread to anyone else because they have a block buffs on themselves. Or if you don't have anyone with block buffs, you should have someone who can either steal the buffs from the heads, or reduce the duration of the buffs on the heads, or for example, I don't know, just block them or something like that. Okay, so you need someone. Give a good example will be Sun Wukong, right? Sun Wukong, he's gonna steal all the buffs from the heads and place a block buffs on the heads, right? So he's kind of one of the good champions that you should have in your team, especially if you're like I said, early to mid game player, so you're new to the game. If you have Sun Wukong, he's gonna be amazing for this head. Okay, let's move. Head of Wrath. Head of Wrath, it's let's say he's the damage, the nuker of the Hydra, right? This guy, he has a countdown of 15 turns, so whenever you attack him, 15 hits from your team will bring him to the Vengeance or something like that it's called. I can't remember. Yeah, the Vengeance, and then he's gonna attack all of your champions. He's placing a lot of block debuffs and other stuff, reflect damage. There's a lot of shit that he does. He's provoking your champions. There's not a really good way to deal with this head. And I think this is where what is called Plarium made a mistake with this one, because they say in order to be prepared for the attack of the Head of Wrath, you should have your block damage and your unkillable on your team, which again, you shouldn't have that one. I think that's, I don't know, maybe it was wrong when they did that and they intended to do something else, I don't know. But you shouldn't do that, okay? In order to deal with this one, first of all, you should have a cleanser in your team, again, in order to cleanse the provokes. So this way you don't go and attack him, because you don't really want to reach the 15 turns here, right, for him, because otherwise he's gonna smack your team. Now, if you play in normal, he doesn't really hit that hard. Brutal, maybe Nightmare, he's gonna do a lot of damage, but usually normal and hard, he's not that strong, you know. But yeah, he's a nuisance, so this is one that you need to take care and pay attention to him, you know. Again, that's not really a good way to deal with him. Make sure you have a lot of shields. If you have, I don't know, some revivers in your team as well, in case someone dies, you can bring them back. and yeah, that's pretty much have high defense, you know. Basically, you must have your team really strong. They can resist the attack of the Head of Wrath. All right, so what else we have? Head of Torment. Now, Head of Torment, it's another one that technically he's not such really dangerous, but he places fear and true fears, so he's kind of annoying, you know. I don't think he's a bad head, you know. I would rather have the Head of Torment rather than Head of Wrath, to be honest, right? But yeah, again, if you have someone with to cleanse your team, you should be good to go. Or for example, someone like Inquisitor Shamel, he's gonna remove all the true fears from your champions, so you can have that one if you don't have a good cleanser. And then Head of Suffering, it's another one that, in my opinion, the only bad thing about this one is that he's placing a pain link on one of your champions, which means that the damage that you do to this head is gonna come back to you as well. It's more like a reflect damage or something like that. But he's not a bad head. I don't really care about this one as well. It's not that hard to kill, and it's not really a nuisance in the fights, right? Again, like I said, this turn we have all the three bad ones: Head of Decay, Head of Wrath, and Head of Mischief. And we have Head of Blight. Head of Blight, it's okay. Again, I don't really care about him. But yeah, these three are the worst heads to deal with, right? The other three are kind of like whatever. Anyway, or at least that's in my opinion, guys. Okay, obviously some other people they might be more annoyed about the Head of Torment or someone like that, you know, or Head of Blight. To me, I don't really care about them. I don't mind them having as enemies. Alright, so let's talk about what kind of team you need with all these Hydras, okay? So the very first thing, you need a Provoker, right? Now, if you're new to the game, you might maybe you don't have that many champions, right, to provoke. But if you don't have V6, it's a free one. You can get her by logging into the game. She has a Provoke on her A3 here. It's on a 3 turns cooldown if you book her, and the Provoke will last for a turn. It's not bad, you know. In my case, I'm using Harima. Harima, she's a good Provoker with her A3 here. Plus, I'm using Harima together with Lady Mikage. Harima, she does quite a good amount of damage, you know. She's placing an AoE, decrease attack. She's decreasing the defense of the enemies, you know, with her A2. For me, it's Harima, but you might have someone else. Husk, it's a good choice. He has a Provoke. He also has a enemy max HP damage, so he's a pretty decent one to have if you don't have Harima or someone else. Lord Vargal, he's a good one as well. I've seen people using him quite a lot. So there are some choices. Obviously, these are my choices, but you might have other champions with Provoke. So I think the best champion with Provoke, it might be Molly. Yeah, she has because she has a Provoke on 2 turns rather than 1 turn, on a 3-turn cooldown. So she can keep that head provoked all the time, you know. And there might be other champions with good provokes, but Molly is the one that came to mind right now. Okay, so that's one debuff that you should have in your team. Now, other debuffs that you should have, other debuffers, I want to say, it's someone who places decrease defense and weaken on the Hydras, yeah? In my case, I have Dracomorph. He has his A3 with decreased defense and weaken. However, I'm not using Dracomorph because I do have other champions in my team that I'm using. For example, I'm using Gizmak. Because Gizmak, he brings the HP burn, which is another debuff that you should have for the Hydra. He's placing HP deburn on with his passive. Plus, he has the decreased speed on his main form, which is important. And he has a decreased defense on his alternate form. So I have him, and then I have Lady Mikage, who has an ally attack first of all, and then she has a weaken on her alternate form, which is why I'm not bringing Dracomorph, because these two, Gizmak and Lady Mikage, they do a lot more for me than just Dracomorph. But if you don't have Lady Mikage or Gizmak. One of the best champion, which everyone is using, obviously, it's actually Lydia. Now, Lydia is hard to get because you need to finish the faction wars, so it might take you a while. You might not have her, so I don't know. Plus, like I said, you need someone with decreased speed as well. Like I said already, in my case, it's Gizmak. He has the decreased speed on his A2, where he's activating the HP burn as well. You need someone with HP burn. Everyone should have an attack by now. If you don't have him, any champion with HP burn would be great for this scenario. What else do you need? Again, someone with decreased attack as well. All these buffs, debuffs that I'm talking about, guys, they should be ideally on an AoE debuff, right? If you have someone who only places, like, just to give a stupid example, like Arbiter, who she's placing a weaken, but only on one enemy, right? You don't need that. You need someone who places weaken on all enemies. Anyway, you need a debuff, someone with HP burn. Again, Artak, it's a pretty good one. He has HP burn on his A3. He's activating them. He has an AoE decrease attack, so you can have him for sure. He's gonna do a lot for you. But a lot of people, the big teams, like those who do like billions of damage, they don't even use anyone with HP. They go for Trandas and other stuff, you know. Even though Trandas, she's actually placing HP burn. But yeah, HP burn debuffs, it's good. What else we need? We need someone who places speed on yourself. So, you can go for champions like Razelvarg, you know. If you don't have others, who increases the speed with accuracy as well. He places Leech. Leech is another good debuff for the Hydras because you can always regenerate some health for your champions, you know. And I don't know, I would say that's pretty much it. This is basically, I know it sounds stupid now that I'm thinking about. You kind of need all of the good debuffs, right, to put on the Hydra. You need HP burn, you need decreased attack, you need decreased speed, decreased defense as well, you know, it's not bad. Oh yeah, we need, I forgot to talk about block active. I talked about Sun Wukong already, so Sun Wukong, it's a pretty decent one to have in your team because he's gonna steal all the buffs from the enemies and he's gonna place block buffs. So block buffs, it's another good debuff to have on your team. So, but like I said, yeah, you kind of need everything, guys, right? You need provokes, you need the Hydras, they're immune to like stun or freeze or any other shit, so don't bring any of those champions. You need someone who can place what is called Hex. In this case, Mitrala, she's a good one. Mitrala, she can be your like cleanser. She's placing the Hex. She's increasing the defense and attack of your team. She puts a strengthen and a shield. This way you can survive the head of Wrath when he attacks you. Plus she has some poison on her A1. So if you have Mitrala, you take her, she's gonna be amazing for your team. She can do a lot. If you don't have Mitrala, you get her from Hydra basically. So it's a little bit hard to get your hands on her. But you can always get Cleopteryx. She's a free one. You get from logging into the game. So she has some hexes, you know, some increased attack. This one is just for herself. They increase crit rate and crit damage. So has some perfect veil. But yeah, she can bring the hex for you if you don't have someone with hex. I think that's pretty much everything, guys. Yeah, let me see. So like I said, HP burn, decrease attack, decrease defense, decrease speed, hex, provokes, block buffs, right? So pretty much all the debuffs. You need people who can bring everything to the table, right? Because it's not easy to deal with Hydra, but it's not hard either. If you have the correct champions, it's not that hard. And obviously, like I said already, we're gonna do this Saturday when I will do the live stream and I will put together my team and hopefully I will help my clanmate to put his team together as well. Man, none of this is amazing. I don't know why they always do this. This is bad. I don't like them. Okay, whatever. So yeah, guys, like I was saying, Saturday when I will do the live stream, we're gonna I'm gonna show you guys what kind of champions you need for your team, and you can learn a little bit more. For now, I'm gonna just finish this video here. Like I said, I just want to make it easy and quick for everyone to understand how to deal with the Hydra and what they do and what kind of champions you want. And if you want to know more, Saturday, join me in the live stream, and you can ask any questions you want. Yeah, yes, if you want, you can come and join me during the live stream. We will check how the Hydra teams are working, what champions you need to do to bring in your team. And yeah, so that's it, guys. That was the video. I hope you guys learned something from it. If you did, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.